Howdy, howdy, folks. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's see here. Okay, Mark is here. I promise you. He went to go get a.
I'll be there in a second.
Yeah, he's there in a second. There he is. Let me get my.
I'm coming.
All right. He's coming. I promise. I promise you, he's coming. Hope everyone's doing as well. We're gonna have a treat tonight. I mean, we got Mark Wolters here. I've been watching this video. Oh, look at he's set. He's set. Absolutely. He got some nice looking cups there. Mark Wolters. I've been knowing him at least I would say 10 years. I saw his first video when he was talking about in Munich. He was in Munich, and he had the black trench coat, not trench coat, but black heavy coat.
Trench coat back in the day, yeah.
Right. And it was just awesome to. I was like, "Who's this guy? What in the world?" And I was new to YouTube and everything, and I just got back from going to Germany for the first time, and all these years. Well, I was probably 2 or 3 times since when I saw the video, and I'm like, "This guy knows his stuff," and so I've been following him ever since. And in the meantime, I had a chance to meet not only Mark but his wonderful family 2 years ago this month down at the Tampa airport. That was true.
And this summer in Georgia.
And also this summer in Georgia. Absolutely.
Spoiler for the 12 Days of Christmas.
That's right. Hey, there you go. They came to our home here in GA. I'm a Florida boy living in Georgia, living in GA, and I'm loving every bit of it. And it's a lot of fun up here. A little not nice change of pace. I'm from Ocala, Florida, but and that'll always be home. But the home is also where you lay your head. That's what I keep saying. I'm sure you agree with that, Mark. But Mark here, he gives, I mean, honest, real, no fake stuff, travel advice. No matter where you want to go in the world, and you've been to a lot of places. You've been to how many countries?
I think there were like 70, 72, something like that.
Wow. That's a lot of countries. I know he has like 64 videos just in Germany alone. I've watched them not only once, twice, 3 times a lady. But I watched.
Well, we got a few more coming for you, my friend.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
So we should have. Because I filmed one. It's funny because like people look and see like, how did you film that now? I'm like, well, I have Christmas videos that I filmed when we were traveling last Christmas and stuff. I have to put out. So I've got a 511 Hates to the Harz Mountains that'll be coming out. I think that's going to be our kind of Wednesday before Christmas video. And then we've got the Mistakes of Germany we filmed in Freiburg, which was supposed to go out like 6. Well, I was going to be putting it out for March this year, but that was going to Germany. So we have that. Then I found an old what to see and do in Bamberg video. Like I was going through some of our old files and I found like, so like I never tried to do a lot of the same place in a row. And so I'd like kind of pushed it back. So I found a bunch of videos from years ago, which I think will be fun. So I think I'll do like a month of like Throwback Thursdays on Thursdays. Because I think we have like some videos from Avignon, France, and Nice, and Bamberg, Ottawa. So there's all kinds of stuff.
Sorry about that. And I'm looking forward. I am looking forward to that as well. I'm just making sure that we're on here. I'm not seeing no comments come up. I'm trying to. I apologize, this Mark.
No, it was up on the thing I was looking at earlier.
Are you seeing the comments?
Hold on, I'm not seeing the comments. I'm going to go to your live now. 14 watching.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's live. I'm seeing it. There's comments on the side. I'm walking to see Mark Finley's on there. Ryan Danaho's on there. Carmen, good to see you. Margie, BDF, Leo, my brother, good to see you. Jamie Amtrak Travel, and Travel Venture with Eric B. Eric B, I hope you're doing good, my brother. I'm worried about you. I hope you're doing okay. So,
wow, that's cool.
But what's weird is I'm looking at the thing on YouTube, and it's weird because there's like 30 seconds, minute between when we're talking and when it shows up on here. So it's really weird, like talking and then seeing myself do it later. I'm like, I can't look at this. So I'm gonna put it like side by side so I can kind of hide it.
Exactly. Let's see, and out of all the times I've been on here, this has never happened. I get you on here, and this has happened. Go figure. But you know what? We're going to stroll right through it. Everything. I got my handy dandy.
So hey, Katie Smith. Stephanie, good to see you. Hey, so those of you watching, can you hear us okay and see us okay, even though we don't have the questions and the comments popping up on the big screen?
Let's see. Katie Smith down there, Eric B. Yeah, Eric, I hope you're doing well. You know, I sure hate to hear that.
Neil, what's up, buddy?
Good deal. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that's not it.
No. Mark Finley says, we look great. Thanks. I haven't worked out for months, but I appreciate that, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. See, I'm even growing the Finley look right here. So I got my goatee going.
Nice.
I'm a shaver every
I'm
day.
doing some chicken fried steak in the other room, so I'm going for the Finley route that way.
Oh, there you go.
Jamie said we're all good. Mo, what's up, Mo?
Oh,
Mo said we're all good. So I'm just going to have it so we have the comments in one window, and then I'll have us in the other window.
Awesome stuff. And in fact, okay, if you look there, and if they have any questions for you, you know, go ahead and feel free to respond, and we'll just keep chit chatting.
Can you see them, Darian? Can you see the questions, or you want me to call them out?
See the questions.
Well, there's no questions yet. Thomas Reiser.
Oh, no, I don't think yet. No. But if we do, so I normally put everything, you know, on the front,
right,
on the screen itself.
Down
but
here.
Yeah, no, I sure don't.
Hey, don't worry. I had an exam Thursday, and the system that sent out 2 wrong questions. I have 1,100 students. I had a few emails.
You know what? I bet. You know, it's saying this is a private video. I don't know why it's saying private.
Well, the people can see it, so I guess you and I will just keep chatting this way, and we'll be fine. I'll call out the questions. How's that?
Okay. Well, yeah. When you see them, you call them out. There you go.
All right. So Kermit said, start talking, we will ask. All right. So our theme today is because magnificent Germany. So we want to talk about Germany. I thought it'd be good to talk about some like German Christmas traditions because I lived in Germany for a number of years. I dated a girl from Germany for a number of years before Jocelyn. She's not in the house, so I can say that. So there's a lot of different things and got a good traditions that were in Germany that actually came over to America. Like, for example, the Christmas tree went from Germany to England to the U.S., and it's kind of funny how it's like, oh, yes, this is forever. We've been doing this. No, only for about 150 years. But there's some really nice things. If you do get a chance to go to Germany, obviously the Christmas markets. Have you been to the Christmas markets, Darian? I can't remember.
I have 3 times when I was a child. I lived in Gießen as a kid. I was in the military at the time. Of course, I went in the military later. But my first time I went to a Christmas market was Nuremberg. And my mom had to work.
Oh, yeah, that's doing it right there.
Oh, yes. I had to work on Saturdays. And now, see, my dad was stationed there in the 60s before me. And you know, so he knew all about that stuff and everything. And I remember he said, son, we're going to take a train from Gießen to Nuremberg and check out the Christmas market. So I'm like, okay, well, what's a Christmas market? And I remember that very first time, you know, and when I walked in the city center and looking around, wow, all the smells of food. And I found out what a Nuremberger bratwurst was at age 7, you know, and
you learned right, buddy.
Oh boy, and all the oatmeal cookies and ginger bread.
Yeah,
everywhere. And the whole time we were in there, we went every year. So 3 different times. Now, I forgot about this. When I was stationed in Schweinfurt, I didn't make it to the Nuremberg one, but I made it to the Schweinfurt one and the Bamberg one.
I love the Bamberg one. That's my favorite. I love going there. Bamberg's my favorite place because what's cool in Bamberg, they have like the market with the rides and stuff, like the kind of like, I'd say like the modern Christmas market. And then they have like a traditional Christmas market in another square. And then if you go up by St. Michael's, or St. Michael's, the church up on the hill, they have like a medieval one as well. So you get like 3 different ones, depending on what you want to do.
Right.
So we've actually done that. My mom's gone back a number of times at Christmas. I've been there 3 times at Christmas in Bamberg. My mom's gone the last, I think, well, she would have gone again this year, but it went 3 years in a row. It's really nice. And what's cool is when you go, you see, I've got my little mug here. This is from the Berliner Weihnachtsmarkt. Well, there's a lot of Christmas markets in Berlin, and I used to live there. And so you get these mugs, and I literally have probably like 50 of these. And the thing is, you'll get the wine. Yeah, you have some too. You'll get the hot wine. It's like, €2, like $2, $3 to get it. But then they have a fund, a deposit, which if you're in Munich now, last time I was in Munich, it was like €5, like $5, $6 just to take the cup. Now, if you bring the cup back, you got your money back, but you're like, oh, it's a cute souvenir. And we have so many of them. It's crazy.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, when we moved here and everything, I have so much. They're still in boxes. Well, crates. All nice, and I put some of my glasses out. Different types of glasses, but there's no way I can fit everything on there. So I got to be. So you know what I do? I change them out. I'll leave it up for a couple weeks. I change it out, and then put them up there.
Yeah, that's one thing I think. When you get all the kind of cool, like if you have souvenirs you collect, I mean, you can't unless you want to have like a whole wall of stuff. That is a nice thing if you just kind of rotate through, like put a few up, then you kind of enjoy it. It's like with kids, if they have all the toys, they don't care. But if you like take some out and then leave some there, then you kind of rotate out. It's like a new toy all the time. It's like, I remember that. Like today, I specifically went for the Berliner one because I went to so many Christmas markets in Berlin over the years. Having lived there, I'm like, I want to relive a little bit of my Christmas in Germany kind of thing. But the thing is, it's a small one, so I had to pull out my my good old American Santa Claus Mega Mug because I'm like, Jocelyn took the boys out to get some ice cream, so she'll be back in a little bit. So I'm like, well, I got to fill up so I don't have to make a lot of pit stops over there to grab some.
Exactly, smart man. Well, Mark, I got some questions for you.
Yeah.
Now, you and I know we share the same amount of love for Germany, for Deutschland. But I understand when you were growing up, you went to Ohio. There was a place in Ohio you went to?
Yes. So my Christmases, or not Christmases, my uncle. So my mom was born in Ohio because my grandfather was a Presbyterian minister, but so he ended up going all over the place. So she graduated high school in Kansas, but she was born in Ohio. And so when he retired, he had moved to Toledo, Ohio and lived there. So our summers, we would go to Toledo, Ohio, and then we go to Sandusky, Ohio, because my parents' best friends lived in Sandusky, and so we go to Cedar Point. And so my entire childhood, that was our vacation. We went to Ohio for 1 week, and that was it. Now, when I was, I think in like 6th grade, we went to Florida for a week to do the Disney stuff. But like it was, my brother and I were both too old, so they kind of missed the window of like when it was like, oh, Disney, because we'd grown up on Cedar Point. So we're like, no, we want roller coasters and funnel cakes, and they didn't have that. So,
right. Oh wow, that's good stuff. Now, when did you get your first interest of international travel? I know. Well, go ahead.
No. I mean, I still remember. It's funny. Like when I was in high school, I thought my dream was like, I'm going to be the mayor of my town, the governor of my state, and one day I'll be president. Like that was my thought process. And but I was also like, why would I ever leave my town? Like I love my town. I want to be there. Why wouldn't I want to be there? And then I met this girl from South Africa, and she was an exchange student, and she was really cool. And she's like, you should try this study abroad thing, this exchange student thing. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. You might enjoy it. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, well, they have like summer programs, so you can go for like a month or 2 months or something like that. To some country. I'm like, okay, I guess I could try that. And I was 16 at the time. And I was kind of like worried because I'm like, well, I don't speak Spanish very well. I don't know if I don't speak the language. So I put Australia first, and then I listed a bunch of Spanish-speaking countries. Well, they're like, you're never going to get Australia because Australia is the most popular one, and you're trying late and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. I ended up getting Australia to go there for the summer. And they're like, it's because something opened up, like somebody dropped out. So like, oh, we had an Australia spot, and you happen to be the only person that hadn't been assigned yet. So they sent me there. And I just had an amazing time. I was in this small town called Temora, New South Wales, like, a few thousand people. And then when I lived there, I lived with the town doctor. And then the second family I stayed with, they lived out on a sheep ranch, like way out, like 45-minute drive into town, like waking up with kangaroos out there and stuff like that. And my host dad shooing them away because they're pests. And so it was weird because like that changed everything for me. I went from like, I'm never gonna leave my hometown to I want to see the world. And it's one of those things that's just gotten more and more. And over the years, it's really become like really part of who I am. Like I really want to be traveling. Even if I wasn't making these videos, I would want to go see more of the world and go see more of the cultures out there because it's just amazing to see, like Ermi on here, you all were going to be going to Germany. I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, you didn't get a chance to do that. And it's so awesome. So,
Absolutely.
So it's sad. Hey, hold on. Brian Smith says, I may or may not have an unhealthy addiction to bringing home to Glühwein mugs. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry, Brian. We'll start a club together.
Right. And those of you just coming on here, I am unable to see my comments. So Mark here, he's gonna read the comments as we go. Not every one of them, but he'll pick them, and I'll definitely go through the comments once everything is over, and I will answer every one of them.
So Carmen, we were talking to earlier today. So Carmen pointed out, I didn't think Berlin had any Christmas markets. Ha ha ha, said the Bavarian. So if you're looking to go to Christmas markets in Germany, obviously not this year, but in a normal year, if you go to Berlin, they're more like fun fairs. There's some nicer ones like by the opera, or if you go by the Schaltenberg Palace, but the rest of them, it's like roller coasters and rides and like loud. It's like a German equivalent of the county fair craziness, right? And the foods and stuff like that. But if you go like to Bavaria, it's more of a, not somber, but it's more like not high class, but it's a high, like fancier, like nicer exhibit, nicer stuff to buy. Like you're buying cheap, not like cheap crud in the Berlin markets, but you go to the Munich market and down in Nuremberg, it's like, oh wow, this is really like wood made ornaments that are like really made and made here and stuff like that. I know for me, where we've been going lately is going to the Harz Mountains at Christmas time because the Harz Mountains, there's no like fast train from Berlin or Munich that goes there. And so the only tourists that really go there are German tourists. So when you go there, it's like you and all the Germans. And it's just, there's these cute towns. And what's cool is you have Goslar, which was a town that was in West Germany. And then you have Wernigerode and Quellenberg, which were in East Germany. And since the border was right there, like there was no development, no money really flowed in too much. And so they weren't destroyed during the war. So it's like this like time capsule to see when you're there. Like you can take the steam train up into the mountains. I mean, it's just really like if you want a real Polar Express, you go to Wernigerode and take that steam train up the mountain.
Is that the Harz Mountains?
Yeah, Harz Mountains.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have yet to go to Quedlinburg, and I will love to do that one day. So
one thing that's nice, Quedlinburg on the weekends during Advent, they have Advent im Hof. So it's like Advent, like Christmas markets inside the courtyards of the buildings. So it's not just the normal like in the square kind of stuff, but like in the courtyards of the buildings, they'll do stuff in there. And the whole city gets packed. Like you got to book like months and months in advance to stay there on the weekends. But it is so worth it. I was there with my parents the year before. To my parents there, and it was just amazing. But we stayed in Wernigerode because you couldn't get stuff in Quedlinburg. But we'd stayed in Quedlinburg a couple times before during Christmas markets. It didn't have a problem. But this time it was all booked out. But it was a really cool experience.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that Quedlinburg video that you did a couple years ago, that's the one where you explained the hand gestures in? Was it
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the German hand gestures. That's right.
That was funny.
You know my videos better than I do.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I saw Quedlinburg, and of course I looked at a map. I'm a map guy. I like looking at the map. Of course, I'm looking at GPS too. Of course, going all around that area, especially since East Germany is no longer East Germany; it's all Germany.
That's right.
Places I couldn't get to when I was stationed there, I'm now getting to, like Wittenberg. I was able to go to Wittenberg and the Wartburg Castle and all that stuff, and Leipzig. And I've been there several times now, because now it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna check these places out that I could only heard of and read about. I'm a reader and everything, but never actually to go there. So it's really cool to do that.
Wow, cool. Yeah, no, like the Wittenberg. So if any of you are, you want to see about Luther, Wittenberg is, they call it Wittenberg Lutherstadt, Luther's city, and you can go there and see all kinds of stuff. I know I went from my aunt wanted some stuff from there, and so I went there and visited and got a bunch of stuff and sent her books and postcards from there, and she's still like totally happy. Griswold Vanley Vacay is on here.
Hey Danny, how's it going, everybody?
Good, doing good, Dano.
Yeah, it's good. I had a chance to meet him and his family.
Danny, I think I called you Blaine. I was like, that's rally travel. I'm rally creative. I'm like, I've had a few of these tonight. Sorry.
Oh boy. I got to meet Danny and his family last week. Not only last Sunday, but they were coming back from Disney, going back to Oklahoma where he's from. Mm-hmm. But I got to meet him on his way down too. We met him up in Macon. I drove up. We met at the Bass Pro Shop, and Blaine was there too. And he and I went to Stone Mountain and ate at that German restaurant.
Yeah.
On the bottom of right there, and it was pretty good. I made a video out of it actually, but yes, I got to meet them. So it was great meeting them.
That's cool. Ermi, Ermi, I have 2 mugs of hot wine. I've already finished this one. This one had 1 shot of cherry liquor. This had like 3 shots of cherry liquor. So I'm having a good Christmas time right now.
Ho ho ho!
That's right.
Yeah, Wittenberg. I was there the first time back in I think it was 2016, but I was also there in 17 when they had the 500-year anniversary where he knelt 95 Theses. Martin Luther did. You know, so go back there and walk. I love history. I love walking the traces of history. You know, Martin Luther's footsteps. And I love church history. Yeah. All through there, the Luther House. You know, all through there, and that's where he lived and also taught there as a professor. I mean, that's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and what's good is it's in the Thuringia region, which has the best bratwurst around.
Oh, really?
The family's back.
Hey guys,
where's Liam? Okay, so
hi everybody. Yeah,
Kate, why are you taking your ice cream upstairs? You have my kid just ran upstairs with an empty thing of ice cream.
Oh, an empty one. Oh.
We have garbage cans.
But
could you help me with something? Both. With shots, 1 in that one, 3 in that one.
Let's 3 in that one.
Why are you having 2 cups?
I just need 1 cup now. So hey kid. So yeah, they went and had ice cream.
Oh, that'll work.
We actually had custard.
So. Ooh. At Freddy's?
We have a local place called Jarlene's here, and they make their own there. So it's like the local custard place. So they have a really good, like it's black and white. So it's like cold fudge and marshmallow.
Speaking my language. Now, did you ever go to Wartburg, the Barber Castle? You ever go around there?
I did not get in it. It was closed when I was there. I was there on a Monday. So.
I think they are closed on Mondays.
Yeah. So, well, at least when I went there, it was it was like 2002 maybe.
Ooh, wow, that's just off the.
It's been a while since I've been. I need to get back.
Vacation. Hey, Jocelyn.
Hi, Darian. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well. I'm sorry I'm late.
Hey, no worries, no worries. You're my favorite. You know, you're my favorite bulldog. You're my
favorite gator.
Oh, I'm so special. So I heard you went out and got some ice cream, you and the boys.
Yeah, you know, when the kids say, I want to spend time with you, you don't kind of turn that down.
That's right. Absolutely. Can't do that. Family first.
Yeah.
Family first.
Definitely.
Even Briggs here.
Hey, Brig. Can't wait to shake your
ball. We always think Briggs because he loves me, but I realize it really is because he's jealous of Jocelyn because he was not giving me any love while I was here by myself. But now that Jocelyn's here, he's like, you can see him. He's like right here.
He's actually like crushing my legs trying to get to Daddy.
Oh, boy. Now, Mark, y'all did a bit of rules in Germany.
What's up?
Of different rules in Germany.
Yeah,
no jaywalking and everything. And give me the German version of an older lady saying, "Be a good example for the Kinder."
Oh, sei ein Vorbild für die Kinder. Be an example for the children. Sei ein Vorbild für die Kinder. And I've actually had that where an old lady is like, bam. She stopped me. Sei ein Vorbild für die Kinder. And I actually have heard multiple times people mumbling under their breath, bei Rot musst du stehen, bei Grün lass du gehen. So it's like with red, you have to stay. With green, you're allowed to go. Germany has like the best, like if you speak German, they have like the best like phrases.
They have rhymes for everything. I never know what they're saying, but you hear the cadence and the rhyme in things all the time. And usually the rules.
In the Morocco, because I flipped it upside down.
Cool.
And the sprinkles on.
Cool. I'm glad you got that figured out, buddy.
Liam's very excited about his ice cream.
Hey, I can relate. Liam. I know he likes spaghetti ice as well. So
yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
He does.
You know, every time I go to Germany now about to walk, I think about what you said, Mark.
I know we have to get that. Hold on. What? Sorry, Liam doesn't know that. Shh. So what were you saying?
I was saying every time I cross in Germany, I think about that video when you said that. And I remember I went blah 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 the Kinder. Get a good example and everything. So Your videos stick. They
Oh,
stick.
yeah, I'm glad.
Right. And also in that video, you talked about don't expect to shop on Sundays, and you
Yeah,
know.
it's funny. Like, so Germany back in the day, I mean, this is like, we're talking like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. They used all the stores were open Monday through Friday until 5 o'clock, but they had lange Donnerstag. It was lange Donnerstag, like long Thursday.
On Thursdays?
And so on Thursday, stores could be open until 8, but then they were closed on Saturday and Sundays. And then eventually they open up on Saturdays. And now the stores are open until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. They can be open until then. But the funny thing is they have a rule that if you're attached to a train station, then you can be open. So if you ever go to Germany, you're wondering, why does every big mall
has a mall?
Every train station has a mall. Every mall has something. So
right,
it's pretty fun.
I know, like I was in big cities, or whatever. If I'm hungry or whatever on a Sunday, I'll go down to the Bahnhof or, find some little place open. It might be, off the wall someplace, but hole in the wall. But you can find something. That's for sure.
That's right.
I always love the doner kebab places in the Bahnhofs.
Doner kebabs. Oh my goodness, I love them things. 2 o'clock in the morning, coming back from downtown, doner kebabs are.
No, they're amazing. Listen, yeah, doner kebabs are amazing any time of the day. I love them so much.
Especially when you had to be up and 2 hours later and run 5 miles in formation for PT. I didn't have none of this sport.
At least you have something to. So think positive.
Exactly.
So Debbie asks, "Hey, will the German people be offended if our attempt at speaking German is not perfect?" No, they will not be. They will not be insulted. They'll appreciate it. They'll probably correct you, but they'll appreciate it. So you go right ahead and try. It's totally fine.
They'll definitely correct you. Absolutely.
So don't you worry about that.
Hey, several people said hi to me when I saw it go by. So I just wanted to say hello back to everyone. I saw it go quickly, but Eric and Carmen and Terry and Paul.
Everybody.
So I know there were other people. It just flew by, and I just wanted to acknowledge that and say hello.
Absolutely.
And Eric, I hope you're doing well. And yeah, so.
Yeah, Justin, keep you up to speed here. I cannot see the comments right now. For some reason, after all this time, this has never happened. Of course, I get y'all on here, and I can't see the comments at all. I'm relying on Mark. He's to go through something. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
So that's what's going on there.
Well, I do want to make a comment about the Germans, us trying to speak German with them. I have found that a lot of Germans speak really good English, but they're very hesitant to do it because they're afraid it's not perfect. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time for somebody to get into speaking English with you, although their knowledge of English is usually far and away better than most. I would put Germany up against almost any other country in the world with, the amount of people speaking really good English. They're just always hesitant to do so. Yeah,
and and the younger they are, like the under 30 crowd now doesn't have that old German accent of, yeah, I like that. Yeah, like that's gone. That's like 40 or 50 and up. If you're under that, you'll see, like, you obviously watch a lot of U.S. television because they learn British English in school, but they speak with American accent. So
right.
That's really funny.
Someone was asked about Bama Rush was asking, is Eric sick? Yeah. So our buddy Eric B, he has coronavirus, but he's doing better. He's a weekend. He said he's hoping that another week he'll be able to kick its butt. So say a little prayer for him to help him get better.
Debbie said we're scheduled to travel to Berlin and Munich in May. Any idea if we'll be let in? It's looking more positive, but I don't know that anybody can say for sure that it'll happen, but hopefully.
I'm almost guaranteeing that you will have to test before you go.
Sure.
And test when you arrive. I'm all about, I think it's going to be test and release. That's how it's probably going to be for the next year. So there's that. Now, there was another one. Debbie asked, I
just read that one, honey.
No, the next one. There's one with Switzerland.
Rich. How easy is it to get from Munich to Switzerland for a day or two?
It's actually really easy. There's direct trains from Munich to Zurich. It's easy. Zurich. It's expensive in Switzerland. Like, don't get me wrong. It's Zurich, and Switzerland is dang expensive, but it's gorgeous. What you could do is like Munich, Lake Constance, which is I don't know what it is in English.
Like Constance.
No,
It's not.
It's got like another name.
Oh.
It's like one of those, like, you're like, oh, that's that lake, famous lake. Anyway, Lake Constance. But Constance is the town, and then going down to Zurich is really easy too. So you can do a lot of stuff, Rich. So it's very doable. I've actually done like a weekend away where you do like Munich and going to Zurich, so it's not a big deal.
How about you, Darian? Have you done that?
I've been to Zurich by car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last year, I took a buddy of mine who never been to Europe at all. I love taking folks to, Europe who's never been, or, I get a joy out of helping people and just watching them smile. But he found out that his great grandfather times 5 was from Eresdorf, Switzerland. And we were going to Germany anyway, but he did the ancestry and the 23 and then family records and everything, and found this church. So we said, hey, well, let's go to Eresdorf, Switzerland. So we made the Basel, went to Basel, got to hang out in Basel for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then drove over to Eresdorf, which is a very, very, very small, but very beautiful. And it's a still working church in the middle of the country, hills everywhere. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful place. And the Reformation, now his great grandfather times 5, and then 5, 4, and 3 were baptized there as a Catholic church.
Wow.
The Reformation after 1517, it was like 1560 something actually. They Protestant, and it became a Protestant church ever since then. And but they have records of baptisms from and everything. Well, anyways, we looked around the town a little bit, around the church, talked to the pastor of the church there too. And he was very welcoming. Come on in and everything, and gave us a Coke and everything, and just walked around. And we were looking.
There you go.
Here's a Coke.
That's cool.
That's right. And we were looking for grave sites and everything. But you know how they bury over there? They bury for a little bit, and they bury down, or to take turns.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's only like max of like 75 years that a grave's used before it's recycled. So.
Recycled, yeah. That's where there we go. And I actually did, and he was so amazed. My buddy, I say buddy because he don't want his name used. He's he just don't want his name used. I'll just say that.
That's fair.
Yeah. So my buddy that I love very much. And he's
my friend.
My friend, and he's a new daddy, and he's like me. So surprise. Anyways, but I did an interview with him right there, and just the joy of him being there, seeing where his ancestor,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, buddy. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We've both gotten to have that experience and to go back where, where our families are from. I mean, my dad's family, my great grandparents came here on a boat in 1920, I believe. And my grandfather was born here 2 years later. But we still have family there in Greece, so I still get to go and see that. I know where my mother's family's from in Switzerland, but we haven't been there yet because it's weirdly, my family is on my mom's side is Swiss German, German last name and everything, but the town that they're from is really close to Italy, but getting to it is nearly impossible. It's up in the mountains, and it's quite a thing. So we haven't quite done it yet. I mean, it's been on our radar. We just haven't, stopped, and because it entails rail and bus and probably renting a car because nothing goes to this little village.
All modes of transportation, huh?
Yeah, all modes. And then, of course, Mark's been to several places with his mother because she's huge into doing her ancestry, and they got to go to the Shetland Islands. I'm sure you know that. But seeking out those roots, even if you don't get to meet people, just knowing that that's where your family's from.
Right.
I remember my dad's dad's side, my papu's family, they're from a little village right outside Corinth, and we've been Corinthian on that side forever. My grandmother, my yaya's family is Spartan. But my dad and I went to Old Corinth, which is 5 kilometers from where the house that has birth. I'm the 8th generation to sleep in that house.
Really?
And I want to go back. The plan was this summer to take the children there, so they would be the 9th generation to sleep in the house. 5 generations.
Cool.
But anyway, that was beyond that. I took my dad. We went to Old Corinth, and there is this spot. My dad loves the Apostle Paul, and he got there. You know, they have a thing that this is where Paul preached from. Well, we don't know that that's the spot, but he certainly would have preached in this little amphitheater area if he was doing it publicly.
Especially in Corinth.
Yeah. And so my dad was like, my ancestors were here, you know, and it was just like this really cool moving thing for him. I mean, it was for me too, because they're my ancestors also, but
Yeah,
that was a really cool thing.
oh wow.
Yeah. So
I love that stuff. I love that stuff. My buddy, we went down to the city hall and tried to get some more information. Well, the guy, he was like, well, let me take down your information. I'll get back with you. Give me your email and everything. Well, 3 months later, he sent my buddy all kinds of information. I mean,
really,
lands and it's I mean, all this information where the houses are still today.
yeah.
Now we're back in the States by this time, and everything. So we were supposed to go again. Thank you, COVID. But a couple things happened. One, he has a little bambino.
Yeah,
And,
it changes things, right?
Right. And then of course COVID. You know that changed it too.
That changed things far more than a child did because, well, y'all know that we took our kids like the minute we could. Both of them had their first flights at 6 weeks old. Actually,
Wow. See?
younger.
Yeah.
Well, you know, because quite frankly, it's easier to fly with an infant than it is with a toddler. Because once they can run, you've got about a year where it's
Get back here.
to rein them in. Yeah. Yeah, but when they're tiny babies, it's just like wearing a purse, you know?
That's right. I know, you know, back now, see, my heritage, believe it or not, is English and Irish.
Yeah.
I did. Now I knew all this, but I did the ancestry and the 23 just to see and already confirm what I knew. Actually, most of the stuff that I knew. My dad's side's from England. You know, we're glovers. We're glove makers.
Yes.
And my mom's side were Gilliards. They were horse people in Ireland. And I've never been to Ireland, but
you would have a good time there, Darren.
You would have a ball.
Like how you go up and talk to people and have a good time. The Irish would be like, "We love you."
See, I like that. Yeah, I love having fun. I love meeting new people. I used to get in trouble as a kid for talking.
Oh, well, go figure.
My mom
Hush
dug up all these,
now. I'm not hearing that. That's not true.
she dug up all these report cards, like from kindergarten up, and everything. If Darren would just be quiet and listen, and everything, I had good grades, but I kept talking. And she gave them to my wife. I said, "Oh, look what I found," and everything. So, oh, thanks, Mom. You know, but I already got a reputation now for talking now, and I'm really gonna have one.
That's all right. I think I set the record for the most detentions by a girl in junior high because I got one like almost daily for talking. It was terrible.
Really?
But I married Mark, and he talks more than I do. So
yeah. So this morning when we were on the chat this morning for the superheroes of Wolters World, Jocelyn's like, "Shut up! You let other people talk." That's why I'm like, I must not talk. That's why I'm really glad Mark Finley runs that because that makes it so I don't do the talking all the time.
All right. Hey, you know, we're only in this life in this world one time. We got to make the best of it.
That's right.
And meet as much people as you can. That's what I tell her. Hey, talk to people, get to know folks and everything. It's really neat. I got to know y'all, got to see y'all and everything a couple times, and looking forward to many more. And I just love it. And and like I said, I don't have any German in me that I know of. Maybe somewhere, I don't know. But I love going to Germany because I spent 4 years of my life as a kid there, and then 2.5 years, almost 3, wow, of military time over there. And as you know, it took me 19 years to get back. I went back in 2008, and for the first time. And this is when I learned how not to wait on people, not to trust people. not to wait on people. Because for years, my other buddy, okay, he for years I'm saying, hey, we need to go to Germany. This is before Colleen, before I got married. So we need to go to Germany. Well, one day, whatever. Well, when I married my wife, my darling wife, she's the best lady in the world.
Amazing, fantastic, great. You wouldn't think she'd marry Darian, but she did. You know.
Oh man, I got lucky. I mean, well, I didn't say that. Not on there. No, I'm just kidding.
It's those cute dimples you got, buddy.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. I love my family more than anything. I mean, it's awesome. And I have a slogan too: if you're a friend of mine, you're family. So that's how I roll. But you know, and long story short, you know, when Colleen and I got married, it was, hey, I want to go to Germany. I've been wanting to go for years. My buddy, you know, he kept just whatever. And so we finally went, and we're going to Germany. I said, and I called him up, and said, hey, I'm going to go to Germany. Darren, if you don't just to shut you up, I'm going to go to Germany. So we did that, and went to Germany, and we had a blast. And put it this way, 19 times he's been back. I believe it's 16 times he's been back with me all together. 15 years. I don't know the exact number, but a bunch of times.
That's awesome.
And hopefully he's going to come back next week. It'll be nice. The next time I go. But I just love it. And it would have been 20 times in 2020, but
well, you can do 21 and 21.
That, you know what, I'm going to make that happen. You know what? I usually go once or maybe twice a year. I try to make it twice a year, but doggone it, I'm gonna go more than once or twice.
Yeah, if people are gonna go back, they're gonna go crazy. Hey, there's a couple comments that I think we need to talk about. So yes, Terry Finley is correct. Colleen is a gem.
We all
agree on that one.
Thank you. And it's so hard.
On tour.
Also, I think it's awesome that Brian Smith is opening a Vi Stefana, my favorite, one of my favorite beer, in honor of my first Darian live stream. So that's good.
Oh,
and
wow.
what's awesome is Carmen. Nick made a nice meal and also happens to be drinking a Vi Stefana as well. So across the planet,
beer brings German lovers
brings
together.
German to all of us. It's awesome.
So,
Yeah. Also, I want to say, Debbie, I'm really glad that our videos and Darren's videos could help you get ready for your travels. That is an awesome compliment. I'm glad we could be a part of that. And then also, I wanted to talk about traveling to where your ancestors are from. I mean, a lot of people, they'll ask us, like, where should we go for the first time? So a lot of people are just like, I don't know where to go first. I'm like, if you have
a good place to do it.
If you have history somewhere, if you know your family, it's amazing. Like the first time I went to Germany, I'm like, oh my God, I see towns from my hometown, because my hometown had a German historic district. I'm like, oh my God, like it's Northern Germans that came to my hometown because the buildings are the same. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is my grandma's noodle recipe. She made Spätzle, you know, and you start seeing these things, and it really kind of brings it alive. And that's why it's really nice. If you get a chance to, like, if you Darren, if you would ask me where should my first trip be? I'm like, Ireland's a great one. You got family from there, like learn that history. So it's a nice thing to do. And I know, like you're talking about with going to Greece. I mean, Jocelyn's in tears enjoying it. My mom and I go, like, we went to Shetland last year. We were supposed to go to France and Germany this year to see where our family's from. Those kind of things just really make it impactful travel.
It hits home a lot, you know, and you don't lose that either. I mean, I still go back to those places where, you know, in Greece and stuff with my with my kids and my husband now, and it's still just as impactful, and maybe more so when you take your kids.
Yeah, because
that adds another layer to it, right?
Yeah, especially because if you're from the U.S., a lot of us are like a few generations in to the U.S., and so some of hey, this is where our great grandma was. Like my dad talks about his grandma; she only spoke German, but my grandma didn't speak, my grandpa didn't speak German because she didn't do that. And so he's like, I remember these words, and so we're in Germany. He's like, that sounded familiar. I remember my grandma yelling that. I'm sure it was some like scolding thing, but it's one of those things you're just like, you know, it's just, I mean, that's one of the things I really missed this year, not getting to Germany or Austria or anything like that.
But I've been trying to make up for it. For instance, tonight we had pork loin, and when you eat pork, you should have German mustard. So I didn't have exactly, I know I have the sweet mustard somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So
it's in a basement in there.
Oh, well, so
we stocked up for COVID. We have a couple things of sweet mustard.
So anyway, I took some stone ground. I mixed up some different mustards and some honey, and I needed more juice in there. So I had an open bottle of champagne, so I poured a little of that in, cooked the alcohol off, mixed it up, whatever.
It worked well.
The kids ate it, and they were
Caleb,
like, the first thing he said was, "Man, this tastes like Germany." And I was like, "Yes, I
Really?
did." But bringing those things home, that's what this year has been, is trying. I made the kids Nutella crepes for breakfast the other day because
that was this morning, wasn't it?
No, that was yesterday or the day before. But
it all blurs together. Just
trying to bring home, those things from our travels. That's what this year has been for a lot of us,
Yeah,
exactly.
A few comments we got a comment on Paul Tipton, who should be in bed, but Paul Tipton says, Darian, you should go to Germany as many times as you like just to make up for this year. I agree. Thomas Reiser, our buddy, a local friend. I've been to some of my ancestral homes in Germany and Quebec. It's really, really cool. Carmen, it's getting tougher and tougher with my Heinz 57. Hey, Carmen, we'll send you some. Don't you worry about that.
I think I thought Carmen was talking about the ancestry thing, being Heinz 57.
Oh, a mix of everything.
Yeah.
That does make it tougher. Oh, also, I want to say, Blaine, I was saying hi to you earlier, but I was talking to Danny Griswold, so my bad. So, Blaine, really creative. We say hi, buddy.
How's it going, Blaine? Glad you're here. Blaine, just you didn't know, I cannot see. I'm unable to see my comments on StreamYard, but I just so Mark here and Jocelyn, they're gonna spit out the. You're gonna spit it out. They're gonna spit out the comments there, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
When he's taking off because he has a live feed at 8 Eastern, so he's going to take off. So,
okay.
But Nick Vernon's here. Good to see him. Nick was on our chat this morning too.
Hey, Nicholas, glad to see you.
And Thomas says, I've been to some of my ancestral hometowns in Germany and Quebec. That's really cool. Thomas, I hope you're doing well too, by the way. And then Ronnie Dove, hello, says, hopefully go to Calabria region of Italy in a few years to see where my mom's side of the family's from.
Oh, yeah. And you make sure. Here's the thing is some places, like we were in Greece, some people were like, oh, cool, Greek ancestry. And other people were like, oh, you're American, you're not Greek. And like spitting on Jocelyn in Athens.
Particularly.
But when you go to the smaller towns, people are so excited. Like, you're coming, yeah, my great Grumpy Grump was from here. I want to come see it. People get so excited.
They make you
food, all kinds of
and
stuff.
Calabria will be like that for you, I think.
Calabria would totally be like that, Ronnie. I'll go with you, Ronnie, if you need a co-eater.
I'll go with you too. If you need someone to Spaghetti Eis.
Yeah. Nicholas Monter says, my family isn't German, but growing up in Amish country, I grew up with German food, sauerkraut for New Year's. Yep. So we live in Illinois, and there's a big Amish community about an hour?
Yeah, not even
south of us. And so when we have international friends visit, like, oh, we have to go see the Amish stuff. I'm like, what? Oh, right. And we go down there, and it was like straight out going back to a German restaurant, old school style. So
I would love to do that. I tell you, with the Amish people, they're good craftsmen in wood, just like the Germans.
Yeah.
They could. We used to have a big Amish picnic table. And my parents had when my dad's gone, but my mom and everything. For years we have it, and we love that thing.
Yeah, no, like where we live, because there's so many Amish around here. Actually, a lot of our house was the carpentry is
the framing was all done by the Amish,
and they steal all the coffee because we would buy coffee for every day. I would go to the local coffee place and get one of those coffee things for the workers, because if you don't know, if you're going to build a house, if you treat the people nice, they don't poop in the walls. Okay. So just so you know, and we actually, because the place that built our house built a lot of houses around here, and other people are all mad, like, we've had no problems.
But anyway, so we always bought these big things of coffee, especially when it was cold, and then when it got hot, we bring them Gatorade or something. We tried to do it every day or close to it. Just and these people are building our home, so for us it was very personal, and
sure.
But the guys that came in after the framing, they were like, man, those guys always take all the coffee.
So there was one guy, like, because we get coffee and donuts. Remember?
We get donuts.
That's how we found out. Thomas Reiser, best glazed donuts in the Champaign area is actually at Walmart. Best glazed donuts. And so we go, and so this one guy was here by himself, like working his butt off. And I'm like, hey, did you get the donuts or anything? He's like, no, the Amish guys took all the coffee and donuts. I'm like, dude, it was like lunch. I'm like, dude, I'll go to McDonald's. What do you want? And he's like, I'm a Big Mac guy. So I went and got like 2 Big Macs, meal, everything. Gave it back. Like, oh, thanks, man. That was so nice. He's like, you didn't have to do that. I'm like,
That was
I know.
Electro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there was a guy that did our electricity, and Caleb was just enamored with him. They got to be buddies.
Remember Cookie?
And Cookie. And so like we gave like Leah or Caleb gave these guys nicknames, and it just oh my gosh. But again,
I totally forgot about Electro.
This goes to Darian's thing about, just whomever you meet, make them your friend. I mean, just that's what life's about, is spreading kindness to one another, right?
That's right. I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
Fun when it's your kids giving them new nicknames.
That's right.
Cookie and Electro.
So Nick Barnett has said, hey, even I got that, and I speak fluent German or fluent Greek.
Yeah.
Everyone who wasn't born and lived their entire life there gets that. Yeah.
And particularly in Thessaloniki and Athens, the big cities.
But like when we were in Crete and we were in Sparta,
they're a whole nother.
Yeah, dude, they're great. They're like, you're here, you're us. It's great. You drank with us, therefore you are.
My dad was baptized Cretan, right?
What, when he was there?
Yeah, because so one of my dad's very best friends, he's Cretan, and his daughter is Caleb's godmother. But anyway, the first time my dad went there, when he and Manoli got to like really hang out in person for the first time, they sang and they danced, and my dad was eating tons of snails. They made up songs about my dad eating the snails and whatever. And they sang to me the next year when I came, whatever.
How does it go?
I couldn't tell you. It's the whole story's in Greek, but anyway, it's really funny. But they baptized him Cretan because he's Corinthian and Spartan, and so they poured olive oil and raki over him.
They may or may not have already drank a lot of raki before that happened. All I know is these people I visited.
Manoli.
Yeah, I know Manoli. So if you ever watch some of my Greek videos, you see me playing guitar with this crazy guy. That's the guy. So.
He's our kumbadi. He's family now.
So Brian Smith is toying with the idea of making some cookies, German cookies, to kind of get that Christmas market feeling back home. Oh. I really recommend doing that. My mom makes Lebkuchen gingerbread at Christmas time, and actually Liam he goes to grandma's house to make cookies, and that like for both of them it like throws them back to like Germany and the smells, because the smells really get you going. Like what's up, buddy?
Mit Apfelstrudel.
Exactly. Oh.
Yeah.
We had that in Fredericksburg in Texas. When you get to Texas, drag Mark down to Fredericksburg.
Was das gut?
We had some fantastic strudel when we were there. And I mean, Caleb's like, my God, it's because we were like outside eating and beer and oh my gosh, it was so nice.
Apfelstrudel. Speaking of food, now I know we share the same thing for Schweinhaxe. Oh, or pork knuckle,
or ham hock. Some people call it that.
A ham hock, yeah, but not like that gristle on the side.
I love the fat. I love the fat when it's all crispy.
Oh, you just say it and go.
That's right.
Just like a potato chip.
Hush now. Hush now. Darren and I are talking about heaven.
Yeah, right.
That's what you get in heaven every day.
No.
The canoodle.
Are you this, baby?
I need to go put this up. I will.
And the canoodle, potato dumplings.
Oh yeah.
Man, I love those things.
And that's one of the things is sometimes you end up trying to make this stuff at home and you end up falling in love with it even more. So there's a few German things and Greek things that Jocelyn make her spanakopita, which is like, it's like a spinach pie with phyllo dough. Like she makes for me, it's even better than what we have in Greece. Really? And it's just like one of those things like in the summer, she'll like throw like a bunch of Greek stuff together, and it will have like the grape leaves wrapped, the rice and meat wrapped in grape leaves, tomatos, and you're like, I feel like we're back. Wow. And that's the thing is sometimes that's what you just need to do. You got to find that little thing that takes you back to that, especially this year. Because this year come on, let's be honest. 2020 it was crap.
It's awful. It's awful.
And all the people have lost loved ones or been sick or lost their job. And it's just horrible. So to find something, it's just like if it is just making those cookies, Brian, dang it, dude, make those cookies. So Anyway,
right.
I want to go back to some of these donut questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Brian says, either y'all have the best Walmart bakers in the world, or it's a very unfortunate donut situation where you live. Yes. So like, like most towns have like the donut spot. You're like, ooh, like we were in Natchez, Mississippi. We went to the donut shop. It was amazing. My hometown's they used to have Dixie Cream Donuts. It was like, God's gift to donuts. Here where we live, they're like, you can go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, nah, bro.
There's pandemonium now.
Well, there's pandemonium, but like if you want to get the huge donut like this big that has like Captain Crunch on it, those are okay. But like if you just want to get a dozen really good glazed donuts, you drive 45 minutes to Bloomington to Krispy Kreme, or you go to the Walmart in Savoy, because we have 3 Walmarts here. The other 2, their donuts suck. So I think it really is just the donuts at the Walmart south of us. They know what's going on.
Oh boy.
Mark Finley said, you don't have to drag me. I'll go willingly down to Fredericksburg. So you'll have a good time down there.
Oh, I love that.
It's also, so that's hill country. So it's beautiful there. It's Texas wine country as well. I wasn't going to make a video on Fredericksburg, but we enjoyed it so much that I just like pulled out my camera and did like a 2 or 3 minute, like, here's some things to see and do. So
I want to talk about that wine.
Hold on. Carmen, blasphemy. Dunkin' Donuts is not great. Though their vanilla tea, that is great. I'll give that to them.
One of my girlfriends lived in San Antonio for a really long time, and she used to go to Fredericksburg a lot. And she told me an interesting fact. So the oldest old vine grapes in the United States that came over from the old country, I assume, I'm pretty sure she had said France, are in Texas, because all of the ones in California at some point got a blight and then had to be like cut in with one another. I forget what you call that when you marry 2 things.
I think they talk about that in the.
So Fredericksburg is the only place in the United States that has old vines from France still surviving without having been. You know how they marry vines together? Like I forgot what that term is. Somebody's got to be a horticulturist on here, and you need to tell me
what you're talking about.
Ich bin kein Winter.
Oh.
It's not about the vintage. You do it with all sorts of, like, you crossbreed things, but it's got a specific name. Anywho.
I just want to say that our good friend Thomas Reiser, who lives in our neighborhood, lives with us here in the Champaign-Urbana area, says donuts are terrible here. You're right, Thomas.
Yeah.
You're right. That's why today I got a thing from Krispy Kreme on my phone, and I'm like, babe, I could drive to Bloomington and get some for you. For you.
I eat one. I used to live down the street from a Krispy Kreme in Savannah, and I could see
you
the
could see the light. You could see, and we'd be like, let's go. You just go for one donut.
Which Krispy Kreme? Which one? On Apicorn?
The one on Skidaway.
Skidaway, okay.
Yep. So I lived on Roland. It's 1 block south of Victory Drive.
I know exactly where you're at.
Yep.
Cool.
Where you were.
I love that little house. It was on Thunderbolt, and it was just like the sweetest place. Loved it to pieces.
So Prairie Life says, hi, Darian. Just bought supplies to make rouladen for the holidays. Oh my goodness. You said rouladen? Prairie Life, Prairie Life, nice. Yeah, grafting is the wines together. Thank you, Prairie Life. So Brian Smith says, Fredericksburg road trip. And Mark Finley is, yes, we're all in. So I think that would be really fun. So, Darren, I don't know if you're going to go see Mark by yourself or if Colleen's coming or the kids are coming, but Brian's a good dude, too. You guys would have a good time. And Fredericksburg is real
Darian,
nice.
you're going to Texas?
Remember you said
I either in a couple of weeks or in February. It depends on what time. And I'm going to drop by the Finleys. And so I'm looking forward to that. They're great people, and can't wait to shake their hand and meet Piglet.
Oh, I tell you what, you're going to just have such a great time. They were wonderful hosts to us earlier, or I guess it was last month now, but
time flies.
Wonderful people.
That's really cool. I didn't know that was happening. I guess I missed
I guess
that.
Mark was telling me about that when we were together, and you were like sleeping or something, or we were talking about Texas and how great Texas is.
I probably tuned you out because you're probably making plans about trips, and Terry and I have this thing where we're just like.
Here it goes.
Seriously, if you ever watch when Terry's on the live feed, she's like, "Oh, shut up, Mark." That's why she got the hashtag shot mark.
Oh boy.
So there's a couple.
Right.
So there are a couple things here. So Brian says I can give you a definite maybe depending on work schedule for the trip to Fredericksburg. But Carmen likes to point out in LA loves donuts, all small independent shops. So this is one thing.
Cool.
As health conscious as California sounds, and you hear on the radio,
They're
they
donut doers.
they rock star that donut stuff all out throughout the state. I remember I was in San Diego and I'm like, how do you people stay so thin? The food is amazing and the donuts are insane. And I know LA's got a great donut scene. So I know I'm supposed to go there.
Donut scene.
Hey, it's a donut scene. You know, Foodie's got their stuff. We donut people. Carmen, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm a donut scene.
But I know we're supposed to go to LA in May, and so hopefully I'll get to check out some good donut places. So Carmen hooked me up with some stuff. Carmen, we did not have Krispy Kreme in Japan. We've only had it in England outside the U.S.
Really? Well, oh, really? I got something for you. Where was I? Grafenwehr. They had a shop, Grafenwehr, Germany. It's where I did a lot of training in the Army. When I was on base year before last, and I found they had a small little Krispy Kreme shop inside the food court. And there I was in Germany. Krispy Kreme, please.
Dang it.
You know, that's a neat thing that you're able to do is that you get to have some time on bases and stuff. I know when we first moved to Lisbon, and y'all, I was dying for bacon. Like my Facebook feed was filled with people sending me pictures of bacon.
Oh God, I remember. And the T-shirts. Remember what's her name? Brought
my
the T-shirts.
girlfriend bought me a T-shirt, and like we had matching
God,
T-shirts.
you still have that?
Yeah, I do. And we wore them around Rome together. But her husband was stationed in Germany, and at Landstuhl. So
Landstuhl, very familiar.
Yeah. So we went over, and she had like 5 pounds of Oscar Mayer bacon, and I'm like, how did you do this? And she's like, I got the PX down the street. And I was like, no. So we ended up, she took us, she's like, what do you want? And we went through and bought like just a few things, like real peanut butter. Like,
oh yeah.
You know, not that weird peanut butter they have in Europe, but like I got some Peter Pan. It wasn't Peter Pan, it was Skippy.
Yeah, Skippy. It wasn't Jeff.
But being able to have those things from home is such a blessing. And even when you're traveling to just, sometimes you need that. You need that little kick of home, right? So,
right.
And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I call it Little America, like especially when I go to Garmisch or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, when I'm in Germany, I'm gonna do the German things, but it's neat to go. Well, I'm in Little America, and then okay, I'm going to Germany again. You know, come back out and.
Yeah, but you just get that 5 minutes of home sometimes, and sometimes it makes you appreciate the two together. Make you appreciate one another even more. You know, that juxtaposition is a really cool thing. So
it is. Absolutely. Yeah. And like I was telling Mark earlier, I can't wait to get back to Germany. The next. I didn't say this yet, but the very next plane out, as soon as they say Americans could enter,
yeah,
I'm on the next plane, and I have full blessings from my wife. Have fun. Be careful.
I know she's sending you off with with blessings. So
right, absolutely, and I can't wait till that day. I can't wait till that day. I can't wait till that day. But it's a lot of fun. I got a question for you, Mark. Speaking of food, have you ever had Met in Germany?
Had what?
Met. It's called Met.
I've had Metwurst.
Okay,
which is like
raw pork. Like it's raw.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Braunschweiger. It's like the squeeze out stuff. It's actually not bad.
I never had
it. Bread. This is one of those things. Like it was gross for me when I first got there, but after living there for a few years, I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's kind of like we have schmaltz, where they would take the lard and you'd take some like onion and bacon bits and throw it in there and stir it up in the lard, then smear it on the bread.
That's great.
And my dad. So this is stuff my dad loved because going back to that, his grandma used to eat that stuff.
Right.
And so it was like lard with the bacon bits, and he'd have schmaltz, and then he'd have the Metzwurst.
I'm cool with like raw fish, raw steak.
Medium
Fry raw, also good.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy raw, one of my
Eddie
favorites
Murphy raw,
ever.
sorry.
That it's
Sorry, I
Eddie
was
Murphy
thinking-
raw. Yeah, I mean, nothing will make you pee your pants like Eddie Murphy raw.
Oh,
But
that's right.
raw pork and raw chicken are two things you'll never see me eat.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
carry too many cooties, dude.
Well,
Well, but the Germans do something with the pork to make it.
they do, I don't know if it's how what they eat, what the hogs eat or whatnot, but the last 3 times I've been to Germany, my German friends, but they've been wanting to, hey, you have to try Met because they eat Met like all the time. They go to the fresh butcher shop and they put onions and salt and pepper and bell pepper, and they sit there and I was this close to it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I said, not today, guys. I just can't do it because I grew up, never eat raw pork, and they said we eat it all the time, and so, but here's the thing though. I'm a man of my word, and I keep my promises. I promised him that I would try it the next time I go to Germany. So, Matthias, if you're listening, I'm going to keep my promise.
Well, they said who we were talking to. Was the butcher that there was a raw pork thing. They're like, no, we've done such a good job of getting rid of trichinosis.
Well, and actually, don't take this from me as gospel, but I went to Milk Street Kitchen and did a cooking class.
In Boston
a couple of years ago in Boston.
Probably
and they told us, actually trichinosis is like so rare now, and it's almost non-existent, and you don't really like. You're supposed to cook pork to 165, but they're like, really, you can pull it off at 155 and let it rest for a few minutes. It'll probably come up to around 160, and it's okay to eat like that. Don't worry about it anymore. Blah blah blah. So I'm sure that's fine, but I think something to me about the texture, it just like certain meats are just not supposed to be eaten raw in my mind. But again, when you're in a place and it's customary,
we're in Rome,
and I'm certain. Like I remember when
we
were
just
dating,
got made. You got okay. Yes,
when we were dating, Mark asked
we were
me,
dating in that wonderful time, November 21st, when we flew from Lisbon to Paris.
I know, but before that, Mark and I were living on opposite sides of the pond, and he said, "Hey, would you ever eat shrimp with the shell on?" And I said, "Well, I prefer not to, but if it's customary, I could."
It's a Brazilian food.
So it's like I don't particularly like to eat the head of the shrimp, but if it's the dish and it's supposed to be done that way, and I'm somewhere, I will suck the head out of the shrimp and eat it. That doesn't mean I'm going to love it, but you do things like that. But the one thing I don't mess around with is blood.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, one of his buddies, they were camping somewhere in Jordan, and they met some of the nomadic people and whatever, and they ate with them.
What's his name?
And my friend said, "I'm not."
Ex-boyfriend.
He said, "I'm drawing the line at drinking the cup of blood," and his friend did it. And his friend ended up being flown to some hospital, I don't know if it was like some kind of international American sort of whatever, somewhere in the Middle East, and ended up staying there for like a month because he got whatever the cootie was that was in there. I mean, it messed him up good. So,
well, it's like our friend Chris. He does corn all around the world.
All over the world.
The dude was a million miler at like 25. Like he's been everywhere, and he was in Chile, and they're like, look, don't eat any salads when you're here. Do not drink water. Do not do this. Just eat the meat, because they were like at farms in the middle of nowhere, and the guys, because it was him and 2 other guys, and in the middle of the night he hears these guys screaming. He's like, what's going on? The 2 guys he was with that ate like the salad at the like backyard bar restaurant they went to they couldn't even get out of bed. They were in the bed. And so since they were there for work flew them out and like, hey, do you want to fly out with them? Because, we're taking these other 2 emergency helicopter to Santiago and all kinds, because they've got parasites or whatever. He's like, no, I didn't eat the salad. I'm going to keep working. But yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with some of the stuff where you go. Cause like in Germany, I'm not too worried, but like other places, you got to be careful.
I mean, it's, you know, in restaurants and things like that, in you know, most places, you can guarantee things are cooked, right?
Right.
But I mean, and then there's this idiot next to me who
Oh,
ate.
go ahead. Talk about the most wonderful, tasty thing I ate in China, and I will do it again. I'll eat it again.
He got sick like every single time.
Don't care. It was so good.
Shut up, Mark.
It was so good. I don't care.
And no, he would eat this crap that came from a little cart, and it was like meat and
It's a
eggs.
Chinese taco.
Is meat and eggs sitting in a cardboard box. And mind you, this was the hottest summer they'd had in 50 years in Beijing.
And they might have cooked it in motor oil. I don't care.
I don't know. And they cook it somewhat. My husband eats it, and he called me, and he's like, "Get out of the bathroom. Get out of the bathroom now. I'm gonna die."
Yeah, I had cancer class because it was all squat toilets at work, and I'm like, I can't do it. And so I'm running back to the hotel, and then little Miss Sunshine here, and I'm like, look, you like leave the door open. I'm coming. Get out of the way. I get there, doors close. I'm like,
let me in.
You know when you're close,
it's a 15-minute walk. He made it in under 5.
Whoa, that's moving now.
Yeah, and so like
Literally.
Caleb, Liam was 2, so Caleb would have been like 7. And Caleb opens the door. He's like, "Hi, Dad." I'm like, "Out of the way." Jocelyn is in the bathroom going pee. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm going to die."
You that early.
But you know what? I don't care. That thing was so good. Do it
He
again.
ate it again.
Yes, I
He
didn't
ate it
poop
like-
that time.
The same thing happened?
No, you did. You got sick twice from that.
Doesn't matter.
I
It
don't
was
know
that
how many
good.
times he ate there, but he got sick at least twice.
But the same thing happens when I have yum yum sauce at Japanese restaurants.
Okay,
So
we're done. We're done. Okay, so
anyway, let's go back to the comments, because I know Darian would like us to talk some of the comments, people that are here.
Hey, Allison.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, Allison's here. Cool.
Cool
Let's
deal.
see. Oh, we had a jump there.
And just to remind everybody that if you're on here, you haven't heard yet, I'm unable to see the comments. So Mark and Jocelyn, they're doing a wonderful job of keeping it up.
Hey, yeah. So Carmen's asking, who's thin here? Jocelyn's thin. So we'll go with that.
Not.
So Bama Rush just had a
Okay.
5-gallon water jug leak in their fridge and all over the floor. So
That's good times.
they're a little busy. That sucks.
Hope you got some towels, honey.
So Carmen was saying American food was a treat back in the day. Without base access, it was tough to get. Thus, I rarely ate American food. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing the difference. Like I lived in Europe in the 90s and early 2000s, or like early 90s through till 2000. When we moved back, 2011. 2011. So
Wow.
it was amazing to see like that time frame. Like if I saw like a little thing of peanut butter for $20, I would buy it because you couldn't get it. Now you can get Kraft mac and cheese like in Berlin or Stockholm and stuff, like big cities. And with the internet, you can get anything.
Thomas says he takes little containers of peanut butter when he goes to Europe. You know, that's not a bad idea because that's a good snack when you're out running around. You can just dip
It
some
is. Fill you up too.
Yeah.
They got to think like I don't know. Last year I was walking around a grocery. I love walking around grocery stores in Germany. They have American items. I only saw a couple, but I saw someone else on a YouTube channel, whatever, where they had like cheeseburgers, like and it says King Classic or something like that, and they're doing a like a comparison. Hey, is this really tastes like? And some of the stuff did, but the cheeseburger didn't.
Yeah,
So,
that
bread.
funny. You think that's like the easiest one?
It was
Hey,
bread.
one of your moderators, Tommy Dodson, says met with a side of spaghetti ice for Darian. We'll make sure he's a man of
Did
his.
you just say spaghetti ice?
He did. Are you still making your own spaghetti ice?
I and I haven't since. I haven't, but I'm going to. I have the thing and everything, the jiggamajig,
Yeah.
potato presser, whatever. I call it thingamajig, whatever.
Yep.
But, I'm going to. There are some kids here in the neighborhood. They've seen all my
I think
spaghetti
we
ice
met them.
videos.
We met them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. And there's more too on the other side. And they see my videos. And so what I think I might do is make a video of have everything prepared, and just have them with their parents. I'm not gonna do it alone, no way. Have parents and they're with them and make some spaghetti ice. And the taste is different, but it's fun making it, and I absolutely love it. I found some spaghetti ice in Helen, Georgia. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yes, we did.
I did see that. I was really happy for you.
I made an extra trip down there. Now I was only supposed to do a 3 videos. That's what started. And then the fourth one, I knew that Ms. Ermy was going to Helen.
Is that the one where my ears are still bleeding?
That one. Her and her husband, awesome people. Now I hadn't met them in person at all. Now Ms. Ermy was supposed to go with me to Germany, and we were going to go all over the place, you know. And but of course this happened, and we couldn't coordinate our time for Helen, Georgia. They knew I was going the week before, and I knew they were going after. But time purposes, we just couldn't get it right. So I said, I got to go surprise Ms. Ermy. So I did, and it was fun. She's the most wonderful person. Her husband is too, Matt. Awesome folks. And that was my fourth one. And then they told me about this ice cream shop called Dice Ice Shop. They have not only ice cream, but they have others. They have it's called adult ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
They put all the different stuff in there. But they
what is Georgia?
and they have and I heard about this is they're gonna have a spaghetti ice machine. I'm like, what? And in my videos, I was all over Helen looking for spaghetti ice, and I walk in places where they have pictures of spaghetti ice, and I'm like, I got it, and they're like, what's spaghetti ice? I'm like, ugh.
You're like, dude, the picture right there.
Yeah, right there, that right there. But anyways, so the fifth one, I decided my kids had a day off in the middle of the week, and it was Veterans Day, as a matter of fact, and was it Memorial Day? Veterans Day.
It was
Veterans Day was November 11th. Yeah, because you were just there.
Yeah, that's right. It was a Wednesday, and so I said, you know what? Come on, kids, we're going to Helen, Georgia. I'm 3 hours and 1 minute away to Helen, Georgia, so I will be there often. And of course, I took them to they love that roller coaster. So every time we go now, they want to go on the roller coaster, and the Alpine coaster they call it. But we found the shop, and those people were wonderful. And I got to give a plug out to them too. The owners of the shop. He is a retired U.S. Army helicopter pilot. 30 years in, something like that. And his wife is German, and they were high school sweethearts, or what do you call it? Preschool sweethearts, preschool sweethearts, middle school sweethearts, high school sweethearts, and then they got together later on in years. And long story short, they wanted this ice cream shop. But anyways, I called, make sure this place is open. Now I already called, got my reservations at the Hellendorf Inn. Always stay at the Hellendorf Inn. Good place, right on the river. And I said, hey, are y'all open tomorrow? No, we're not. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, well, what's going on? I said, well, I said, well, I'm going to Helen anyway, but I was wanting to get some, spaghetti ice, but I'll be there. And then we started talking and everything. Well, it's Veterans Day, and I'm a vet. Are you a vet? I said, yes, sir. I served in the United States Army. Everything. He goes, what time you want to come? I'm open for you. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't expect no. I said, I don't want to come open the door because of me. Please, just give me a time. And I said, and he was very, persistent to do it. I said, noon. He goes, you got it. So I got there, had the open sign up, and when I got in, he turned it off, locked it, everything, and I had my own spaghetti ice.
That's awesome.
Being made with a
I'd say what.
I love that.
We're gonna go to Helen specifically to this place because of that. You just send me
That's Ice Shop.
That's Ice Shop. So we'll figure it out. We'll go down there and we'll make a thing just on it.
We'll make one too.
So.
Oh, that's awesome. Appreciate that.
That's awesome of them.
Oh yeah.
So we have some more comments we got to go through to have a laugh. So Carmen's better half, at least her quarter, because she's 3/4 of amazing. Nicholas says, when I was a kid, I called it tricky noses for trichinosis.
Very cute.
Let's see.
Carmen agrees with me that it's not okay to eat raw pork.
Yeah, that's not common or a good idea. Nick Barnett's just saying that's insane. Don't drink blood. We all feel bad for Jocelyn's friend.
Yeah.
Nicholas has talked about eating brains, so no menudo for me.
Menudo is stomach, isn't it?
Yeah, but he swears that they put it in there. But it's usually intestine. Maybe. So, we lost Darian.
Oh,
Darian must be going potty or something. So we'll keep it up while he's there. So we'll keep going. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Nicholas learned how to eat shells in Koreatown. That'll do it. Yeah. Let's see.
I've heard from Nick says, I've heard from multiple people who've traveled to India that a great way to avoid food poisoning, so travelers is not to eat meat there.
Yeah.
So
And in India, that's actually a good thing because you have amazing. Since so few there's so many people that are vegetarian,
but
you have
they
really
cook
great
their
food.
vegetables, and that's the difference. Like when we were talking about the eating salads and things. So a lot of times when you're in rural South America, you're given fresh greens or lettuces and things like that, and those will make you sick because they wash them, but they don't cook them. So you're getting the bacteria and the parasites and things from the water, not necessarily from the vegetables. So yes, going to India, it's okay because they're cooking all those vegetables. But if the rule of thumb is if you're in a questionable place, eat cooked food, not raw food.
Yeah. So we're going back a ways. I don't know what happened to Darian because this is his feed, so hopefully he can get back on. But Nick was talking about how back in those days I would have to bring an extra suitcase of crab mac and cheese to Greece with me because my cousins tried it and they visited the U.S. and fell in love. So Nick, great. So my buddies when I lived in Germany, when I lived in Lithuania, when I lived in Portugal, they all had American stuff they loved. And so they'd always like, oh, your mom's sending something? And they would like put an order in. So like mac and cheese was like the drunk food of Portugal. The cookie, my mom's chocolate chip cookies, when because where I lived, I couldn't get packages. So I either send it to work or my buddy's place. And my buddy, like when it would come in, he's like, your mom's cookies are here. I already opened the box. Sorry. And so my mom would actually make an extra like dozen cookies just for Alvy. Yeah, just for Alvy. Yeah, so it was awesome. We gotta send some to him and his daughter. So, yeah. So we gotta laugh about Carmen is when Jeremy saw. So those you don't know when Darian went to surprise Jeremy and Helen, she didn't know, and so she screamed, and so Nicholas
she could have shattered glass.
It was and Carmen's like, I thought you saw Elvis or something.
Well, and Darian's just like Elvis. I
know. And Ermi says, sorry, Mark, after a 5-hour drive, I was not expecting to see Darian and Helen.
That was just the awesomest, though. And we all enjoyed your love so much. Like, you were so happy it made us happy.
It was awesome. So Nick is asking, Darian, are you in the Atlanta area? He is not. He's south. Well, he's south of Atlanta.
I would.
Yeah. For the
general area, yes.
Yeah, Nick knows. In the U.S., yes. So.
So yeah, you guys will have to hook up and chat. Darian's really good about answering questions, Nick, on his Facebook and things like that. So you guys will have to chat because he's not far. He's like a little south and east, I guess. Right? No, that's not right.
Yeah, no, he's south and east. Yeah, he's south and east. He's west of Macon, south of Atlanta. Because remember, then we came up, we drove by. Yeah, so it's definitely doable. So, Tommy Dodson, recommendation: how much time to spend in the Harz Mountains area, based in Quedlinburg. Want to do a little train ride and visit places like Goslar, Venegoda. What else is a must? So if you're going to be based in Quedlinburg, Goslar for a day, Venegoda for a day, and if you're in Venegoda, you can take the like, you know, there's like these like narrow gauge train you can take up the steam train up into the mountains. Yes. So I would say
like up into the mountains.
Yeah. So I would say 4 days minimum.
Minimum. But Tommy, it's such a lovely little area. Like that's one of our absolute favorites. You know, most people are like, I want to go to Munich. I want to go to Berlin. And I'm like, I want to go to the Harz Mountains. And people are
they're like, what?
You want to go to Venegoda? I remember
they're like,
I said that to a German and they're like, they just went and cocked their head and didn't say anything.
Because they didn't even know where it was.
I know. Like, what? Well, there are those people who don't because it's so tiny, but it's worth every minute.
So, hey, Mark Finley, can you contact Darian while we're talking here to see if he's doing okay? Yeah, and Darian does need some of that good Texas internet because
my phone's upstairs.
Text him, see if he can get back on. Poor Darian. Oh, Darian just said he'll told me he'll be back in a minute. Okay. Yeah, so Nicholas Monter is laughing because he says, I just realized a Greek guy is named Nick. Yeah, so for those of you who know, Greeks don't really expand the names. So you'll notice if you're in the U.S. and it's a Greek family, there'll be at least a Nick, a Harry or Harold, Dima, Dimitrios, something like that. Maybe you'll see a Pano somewhere. What's the other? George. George is huge. Yeah. So like Greek. Oh, like George, Nick. Just grab one of those. You'll be fine. It's pretty funny. Let's see. What are some of the questions y'all have about going to Germany or any other things? I'll scroll up here and look for some more things. Bam. Oh, towels in a box fan. Yeah. Because, where we live, that water will sit there for a while because it's not evaporating. So I'm just scrolling back up. I'm seeing all the raw blood. Yeah, blood, no bueno. Do not drink that. Oh, donuts. So good. Krispy Kreme is so good. Yeah, Bama Rush. Darian needs to research other providers. Hey, I can't knock anybody for bad internet because our internet usually sucks. So I can't complain.
We have so many
and
problems.
we have no choice. Like the developer of our neighborhood is like, no, they like must have signed their soul to Comcast or the devil. I think they're the same actually. And so we have that one option. It took me 4 months to get internet here. And until I threatened to chop the Comcast box out of my backyard, then they finally actually got it to work. So
yeah, because they kept saying that we couldn't get it because we didn't have a connection because we weren't one of the first houses on the block. He's like, the box is in my backyard. They're like, no, it's not. He's like, well, I'll go out and I will cut it off and then you'll find out.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we had someone drive by. This is nothing for miles around. I'm like, you're lying because there's a Comcast box in my backyard and my neighbors behind me that like, because behind us was an open neighborhood, like they in their box is my backyard, and so I was livid. And it's funny because I talk about bad marketing.
I'm back.
Marketing. Hey,
sorry about that, guys. My internet's went completely out. I also heard all the kids they have friends over, spend the night, and everything. The internet went out at the same time. Everything went boom. So thanks for holding down the fort.
No problem.
I was trying everything. I'm a laptop. I my iPad. Everything is going. Whoa! What happened?
Do you by chance have Comcast?
No, sir.
Oh.
We have.
We have it. Notice how they paused him at that moment, so he couldn't say it out loud.
Right.
Oh, this is crackly. That's cracking me up.
Stuck.
So let's talk about some Christmas stuff in Germany while Darian's frozen.
Markets, hot wine.
Markets, hot wine. One of the things, cookies,
decorations that can be eaten, but not necessarily.
So you'll see these hearts like hanging around everywhere, and made out of gingerbread. They are not tasty to eat by themselves. Just use it as decoration.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the small ones if you want to eat them.
Yeah, the small ones are better for the eating.
Yeah, otherwise it's just nasty.
Trust us on this, y'all.
Yeah, and one thing is Germany is really good with developing or like doing the old like windows, like the storefront windows, the department stores. Like, I mean, we live in Illinois, so like we'll go up to Chicago and see the old Marshall Field, which is Macy's now, and they'll do up the windows for Christmas.
Macy's. We
still call it Marshall Field. But the thing is like small town department store in Germany is still nicer than like Marshall Fields in the U.S. because they do it up.
And there are some.
Okay, so make sure everything's put off. Oh, hear him again.
Hey, he's back again.
I apologize. I call it character building. It builds character.
That's right. So we have a question.
Sure.
Rich wants to know, when do Christmas markets usually start to open in Germany? So it starts the first weekend of Advent. If you're in a bigger city like Frankfurt, they might start 1 week earlier and they'll stay open later. But in general, in Germany, you basically have the first weekend of Advent, like that Thursday night before the first Sunday of Advent, through the 23rd of December. Small towns, big cities, though, that they will be open then. But anything earlier than that, unless like it's a Frankfurt or Berlin, like Munich, they'll have something a little bit like maybe the week before, they'll have something there. But honestly, like I would say 90% of the markets, the 23rd of December is the last day because the 24th is a holiday in Germany. The 25th is a holiday. And the 26th is the second day of Christmas. That's also a holiday. Everything's closed. So on the 27th, everything disappears. You're like, whoa, where did the Grinch come from and stole Christmas?
It's amazing how fast it's out of there.
It's gone. Yeah. So
German are efficient, right?
Yeah. So if
They
you go
are.
to Germany to see the
So is my
Christmas
internet.
markets, you need to go the 23rd or before. But if you're like in Hanover or Frankfurt, there will be some Christmas market stuff that stay open until maybe like the 6th of January, because they know that tourists like that stuff, and they're like, "Oh, we like money too," and so they'll take your money that way. So, yes, Carmen, morgen ist der zweite Adventstag, Adventssonntag. So tomorrow's the second Sunday of Advent. We gotta get our thing out.
Yeah, Nicholas is coming.
Krampus might drop off some coal for.
Krampus actually has left coal for our children before.
So yeah, it was like Caleb was like
with a
7.
note. Well, he got
like a
something
straight up piece of.
He got a little something from
Saint
Nick, but it was like a small thing, and then he got a piece of coal with a note to do better with.
It'd be nice to your mom.
But it's also our name's day, so Caleb and I are both like in Orthodoxy. We get a baptismal name, and ours are both after Saint Nicholas. So it's supposed to be a big celebration for us. Like in Greece, this is funny how your name's day becomes almost as big as, or sometimes bigger than your birthday. And then ours lands on Nikolaus Day, which, ties into, the German stuff. And it becomes quite a celebratory day in our family. So It's pretty cool.
So Tommy has a question. It says, have you been to one of the Krampus parades? Are they as wild as I hear? They're not as wild as they used to be. No. So I've been there a few times when they was going by, because Krampus isn't everywhere.
But it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Like I've had the best time with the Krampus stuff when I've actually been in Austria. That's good. Santa Claus comes, because Santa Claus is tomorrow. But he has his buddy, the Schwarzpeter, which is totally not cool in the U.S. because it's like people in blackface and stuff. And that's another big thing, and that's in the Netherlands that'll happen. But yeah.
I remember I was 7 years old when I met Krampus for the first time. My dad had to chase me because I saw it was during the parade. And Krampus got right in front of my face, and I went, ah! I took off running.
Well, Krampus is freaky.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Krampus is like a devil goat monster that goes after bad kids, which is meant to scare the living bejesus out of them, and it does.
It does.
Like I've seen some of the Sorry. Darian, go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
I said, all I did was talk. I wasn't a bad kid. All I did was talk. I took off running.
Tell us about those Krampus, the parades when you were younger.
Well, the first time I went to a Christmas market was I was 7 years old. And my dad took me. My mom was working that Saturday. We took a train to Gießen, from Gießen to Nuremberg, which wasn't very far. And so I had my first of everything: gingerbreads, all the ginger, and all that stuff. And they just so happened to have a Krampus parade there, with all these monsters coming out of nowhere. And kids were. I went home and running. There were kids. They were flying. And I remember my dad catching me. Son, what are you doing? But it was of course I know now, but it was a scary moment when I was 7 years old. I went back the next year. I was seasoned, and then the next year after that, and of course when Schweifer didn't have one, but Bamberg did. Bamberg had the Krampus.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, some places call them Krampus, some call them Schwarzpeter, some, like Carmen's saying on here, like there's a lot of different names for like Santa's helper to like take care of the bad kids.
It's just scary.
He's just scary. And like I remember I did in my hometown, we have a architecture museum, and they do a Christmas thing every year. And so one year we talked about like Christmas traditions around the world. And so I was Pelznickel, which Pelznickel was the guy, it was Krampus, but he was a guy instead of like a monster. And he'd go and beat the children. And so this little girl was like scared to death of me. And I was like 15. So imagine you're like working in a museum at 15.
You were so cute when you were 15.
Yeah, now I'm just horribly disfigured. This poor little girl was so scared. And I didn't want to, like, you're not supposed to break character. I'm like, oh, I took the beard off. And I'm like, hey, it's okay, honey. I'm just a normal kid. Because she was so like, I'm gonna die. I felt so. She was like 6. I'm like, I can't be a kid. But I was worried that she'd be like, wait a minute, what does that mean? If you're, I'm like, oh, no, I'm just a guy working in a museum, totally different than the real deal. So
that was very nice of you, though, especially for a little kid.
So I was like, It's okay. It's okay.
That's
So,
funny. What's your favorite food in German markets, Christmas markets, that you don't normally get?
well, go ahead. I mean, I can do a few.
I know you can do a whole bunch. I don't love German food. I mean, give me a pretzel and some mustard and
Lame.
What
Lame.
was that round thing? It was round with all kinds of cheese and like a pizza almost, but it's not. It's not pizza.
Oh,
was-
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, what is it called?
It's about that big.
It's like Fadenbrot or Fladenbrot or something like that.
Yes,
like
it is.
flatbread. It's like a flatbread pizza. It's just really good.
Oh,
I know for me, there's a few like I love like you get a lot of like not well they're like donuts, but fried dough with stuff inside. Or it's called Dampfknödel, which is like a wet dumpling, and then it's got like jelly inside, and they put a ton of cream on top.
Those
yeah, in
tasty.
Austria, that's really good. But like I know the one that my dad always goes for are like
Your mother loves Stollen.
was it Schmelzkuchen? No, Schmelzkuchen?
Yeah.
Schmelzkuchen or something like that. It's like little like fried donut balls with powdered sugar. That's his go-to. That is his go-to. And like every time I go, Thomas likes the chocolate waffles. Bama Rush, yeah, Bratwurst, half meter Bratwurst is always a good one. Yeah, Flammkuchen, that's it, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy.
Flammkuchen.
That's my good one.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. Hey, back to some of your videos. I know you did one video like the 10 most shocking things in Germany, which also did a video something like the 10 more shocking videos.
Yes.
Okay, like there were some more. You're talking about the rules and the different culture and everything. The Autobahn, difference of the Autobahn. Don't go crazy on the Autobahn. But explain to me what do you mean by Germanisms? When you said and the many other Germanisms.
It was like like the don't cross the road against the light, and the follow all the rules except when it comes to making a line, and then we all bum rush the entrance when the door opens kind of stuff. And so there's those little things that like don't fit with Germany. And you're like, what? You guys do that? So it's more like that when I kind of think of those.
I see. Well, I enjoy those. I bet you I watch some of those videos 10 times or more each. I mean, I'll go back and I'm like, oh, what did you say about that? I'll go back and replay it. And some I've been watching so many, I'll make a comment and I'm like, did I make a comment? And then I scroll way back and I see what I made 5 years ago, and I just make another comment just
make another one. It's all good.
Yeah, good deal. Now, I know now Berlin. I understand you received you earned your master's degree in Berlin.
Yes, I did my master's in Berlin. Yeah, back in the day. And
you also taught there too, right?
Well, I taught there, but I taught U.S. students when we went there, so it wasn't like teaching at a German university. In Vienna, I actually teach for the university in Vienna and do classes for them. Whereas when I went back to Berlin, I just took American students there and taught them versus German students.
Okay. So was it an international university, not necessarily University of Berlin or?
Well, where we went, it's just kind of like, hey, you can rent out a room.
So that's when you taught there, but when you went to school, you went to a German
Yeah, when I went to school, I went to a German university. Yeah. But then when I took U.S. students there, it was more like we'd rent a room and stuff like that. I give lectures and stuff.
Okay.
But in Vienna, because that was more like, let's go learn German culture. When I actually taught a class, like in Vienna, we actually have a room in the university with Austrian students taking the class with us. So it's set up a little bit different.
That's pretty neat. I know you spent 2-3 years in Berlin, at least 3, 4?
2.5 years in Berlin. It's a great time.
Wow. Now I've been to Berlin, several times, but never lived there or anything. Lived in other parts of Germany, but not in Berlin. I remember seeing Berlin in the 70s as a kid, where everything's still up, and everything.
Different time, man.
Absolutely. And then when I went back in the 80s, when I was in the military, I actually did border patrol. Not in Berlin. We call that Hollywood, but I did on the Czech border.
Yeah.
On the far eastern Germany, right there on Czech, and go back now and to see what it looks like now. Compared to
all I know is like I lived in Berlin 99 to 2002, And I remember going, and we would go for drives. Like my buddy, I had West German friends and East German friends, and back then there was a difference. Like I remember walking through the park with two of my East German friends and my West German friend, and like two of them just like stop and start staring at this banana that's just sitting there, like rotting away. And my buddy from West German, I'm like, what are you guys looking at? They're like, no, you don't understand. Like 10 years ago, if you saw a banana like that, it was like gold. And like someone just left it there. And still, like 10 years after, they're like, how could you leave it there? That's why like banana milk is super popular in East Germany because you couldn't get bananas. There was no banana. So you'd have banana like something at Christmas because it was such a special occasion.
Right.
And so it was crazy. And then when I would drive back, we drive to West Germany with my buddy Magnus. And I mean, this is before the roads were really redone and stuff. And you'd see the checkpoints, you'd see the stuff. You're like, wow, that really just happened. Like I was in Berlin when they had the 10 years after the fall of the wall, and like Scorpions came and played, and like John Major was there, and Bush was there, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, and
right.
See all these things, but it was insane.
And I left Germany 2 days before the wall fell. And I remember watching it when I was medevac from Germany because I broke my back in Germany, and I was medevac on a military aircraft. Whatever. Anyways, I remember watching it in the American hospital here, U.S. Army hospital here.
Is that when you broke your back?
Right. I broke my back in April of '89, and I was paralyzed almost 4 months, just under 4 months. I was told I never walk again, and I'm in bed.
I just want you to know you're a badass, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to be your friend.
Okay, I appreciate that. You know what? And likewise here, and I will never ever. That's why you got to admit I'm a little bit goofy because I like to be goofy because it's my medicine. I'm not a pill taker. I don't like taking medicine. There's days I have to take it because the pain's so there, but I refuse to sit around and say, well, I can't do this because of that. No, I'm going to do it, and I'll pay for it later, basically. Yeah. So just gotta keep going.
Hey, and all of you watching right now, go click the like button because Darian's a bad, you know what, and you need to give him a like because he's a good dude. So,
and the same for Wolters World, both of them, absolutely, and Simply Jocelyn. And Jocelyn, I'm enjoying your videos. My wife is as well. And everything. We watch them and everything. And your friend Sandra, I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all do a good job with that. So I look forward to every week, Fridays, and everything. So you're doing an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Definitely. Now I know you have your favorite places to go. I know there was a video you did on that too, and one was well, of course, Quedlinburg, Berlin, Munich.
Yeah. That's an old video. Like Caleb comes running up, and that's before leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got the Dresden, then the Bamberg, and all those places. I can't remember all off the top of hand, but
hey, it's okay. Neither can I.
But out of all those, what is your favorite German city? Now I know this answer. Oh my goodness! But for everybody who doesn't know, what would be your favorite city in all of Germany?
I think Bamberg. Bamberg's my go-to. Just because it's a decent size. It's not a huge city. It's a large town. It's a like medium-sized city, but just because I can get like real German culture, real German food, see the history. Because when you come from the train station to the historic center, you literally see history.
Yes, you do.
Like, oh, this was built in the 90s. This was built in the 80s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, 1800s, 1700s, 1500s. You're like
1200s.
It's this amazing thing. So
Oh, it is. And that Bahnhof there, well, Schweinfurt, that's only about 30 k's away.
Oh yeah, you guys are right there.
Right there. So we would go there like every other weekend, and and back at that time, well, that time I had a girlfriend in Nuremberg, but I would go to Bamberg like every other weekend. It was the go-to spot. It was great. But yeah, I love the town, and of course the old Rathaus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there.
All right, the pretty. Okay, so the town hall in Bamberg and the town hall in Lüneburg are probably the two prettiest town halls in Germany. And they're
Lunenburg.
both smaller town. Like Bamberg is a bigger city. Lunenburg's a small city.
Okay. Where's that at?
Both are. Lunenburg is south of Hamburg. Those are probably two of the cutest. Like you want to go to like not a lot of tourists go there, but tourists do go there. Like local tourists go there. Those
Right.
are places I really recommend going to.
Wow. Yeah, there's so many places I have not been in Germany that if I ever get back there, I would like to go. And
We will. We all will. Damn it.
Right.
We all will.
Ich will. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. I
Oh,
can't.
Ermi ordered a sweatshirt. Tell folks about it. I will. Yeah. So we Wolters World store get a Christmas sweatshirt. Ermi, we didn't go for the sweater because I was like, no, I don't like the sweaters because they're too hot, too uncomfortable, and this is the year of the sweatshirt. So, thanks, Ermi. I appreciate it. And Ermi, they're printing them. So I wanted to have one last week for our live feed, but and we're filming some Christmas videos this week, but they're printing them. I think they start printing them on Sunday to get the first orders out. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll have some fun stuff with that.
Oh, that's good stuff. But Ms. Irma's great. She's a supporter. I mean, she supports y'all, me, anyone out there. She's an awesome person.
Yeah,
and,
Ermi was one of our first fans on our Facebook page 10 years ago. I mean, Ermi,
really?
I still remember like Ermi and I were chatting. I mean, Ermi, you got to help me out here. I mean, how long's it been, Ermi? I mean, all my beard was brown. I know. I didn't have a beard and I had short hair, but I was still fat. So that's like normal. So yeah. But yeah, Ermi have the rest to remember because it's been a while.
Right. Yeah, she's awesome. I had a person that I cannot name, but they said, hey, you know what? You ought to put in there a Spaghetti Eis fund. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, just put on there and say, hey, support your habit. My habit? What are you talking about? Spaghetti Eis. I'm like,
yeah.
But so I actually did that for the first time, and just a couple of days ago, I put in my last video. I said, if you want to support my Spaghetti Eis habit, just thinking whatever, here's my PayPal, and I did it just jokingly. I'm like, okay, I'll try it, whatever. I'm like, people are buying me Spaghetti Eis. It's just like crazy.
That's awesome.
It started out as a joke, but it's like, oh my goodness. But anyways, Ms. Irma, she's an awesome supporter, no doubt about that. Now in Rothenburg, Obertauber, I know there's two.
Yes, Obertauber. Yeah, Rothenburg's. That if someone wants to see like it looks like it's fake because it's so old world Germany.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what's crazy: it's not because the American general that was supposed to like attack it, he had gone there as a kid and loved it so much. He's like, no, we're not destroying this. He wouldn't bomb it. And so it's like, because they're like, no. And so like, that is like, as kitschy as it looks, it actually is all legit stuff.
That's right. No Disney World. It's the real, it's the real thing for sure. Oh my goodness. Mark, what would you tell somebody out there who's never left their hometown, never traveled anywhere? What would you say to someone who
friends like that?
I would say just go and explore, have an open mind, and just try it. And I know the biggest reason why people don't travel, one is money. I can't. But one thing I like to tell people is, I mean, once we get over to Europe, it's cheaper for us. Like, with COVID, we've done a road trip to the Southeast U.S. We've done a road trip to the Mountain West. We've done a road trip down to Texas and Mississippi and around Arkansas. And I'll be honest with you, for 4 weeks in Europe, it is cheaper, significantly cheaper to visit Europe than it is to travel around the U.S.
I agree.
In actuality, even when we consider flights to Europe, I know that's the big scary part and the really expensive part. But when you factor that in and then you get a hotel room for, I mean, sometimes we stay in pensions for like 50 euros a night. I won't stay in a 50 euro a night hotel in the United States because it wouldn't be safe. I mean, that's, and people are like, well, But it's perfectly fine there, and they're clean, and you probably get free breakfast.
Yeah.
When you know the ins and outs of that, if you can just save up, it's actually like less than 2 days at Disney. I have friends who go to Disney
Oh
all
my
the
goodness!
time.
One day at Disney is a week in Europe. For a family of
minus
4,
the flight.
it's $1,000.
Oh yeah.
Easy. That's just tickets.
Yeah, it's really, it's about prioritizing things, but at the same time, you can travel within 30 miles and see something new. Travel doesn't have to be this big, immense thing. You can meet new people and experience something different, and enrich your life and someone else's by just going down the road.
Yeah.
There are lovely things all over, and it's just a matter of exploring and taking the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first moved back from Europe to the US, Wolters World, we didn't make any money on Wolters World. We were just making videos, and so on the weekends we would just go drive the country roads around here. And I remember how excited I was when I found a 50-cent Coke can vending machine, like cans. Like, you remember the one with like the wood paneling on the bottom? For those of you that are old farts like me, remember the old those kind of stuff? I'm like, oh, and so
it wasn't a can, honey. It was bottled.
No, they had the bottle one next to it, and they had a 50-cent can one next to it. And I would specifically go because it was at like a silo, and I would go just specifically this one because I wanted to go use coins to go get a 50-cent Coke and Mellow Yellow. I'm like, nah, I'm getting this. That's what we would do. And so you find places like that, and you save up, and it's nice. But we have some questions, so we got to go back to our questions.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So Carmen is saying Husky is a good title. Thank you, Carmen. That's what I go for. Exactly. And Bama Rush says, I'm with Mark. If I can't grow it on top of my head, I'm going to grow it on the bottom of your head. Exactly. Nicholas says, when I heard spaghetti ice, I thought it was actually frozen spaghetti, and I was serious about how people ate it. No, I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, what? Because when I first saw spaghetti ice, they'd also have the Pinocchio Becchia, which is the Pinocchio cup, which was like a ball of ice cream with instead of the cone being underneath, the cone was on the nose, kind of stuff.
Bama Rush went to Yellowstone 6 weeks ago, which is only a state away, and spent quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yellowstone. Yes.
The park may not be like ridiculous expensive, but all the things around it, like, restaurants and things like that, they're capitalizing on that. And gosh darn it, this year they've been busier this year than they had been in the last like 5 or 6, they said.
Really?
Yeah. One of our friends, what's it called?
Big Sky Anglers.
Big Sky Anglers.
Our friend Joe, we went to high school with.
Yeah, and good guy. His dad was like the best teacher ever had.
If y'all ever want to fish out that way by Yellowstone, look up Big Sky Anglers. They're incredible.
Tell me,
right?
Mark's going to give you $50. I will send $50 to pay for help you get on one of the stuff.
It was really cool.
But like, it was just insane. Like, they're like, yeah, no, it's amazing out there, but the price is just.
A lot of things were expensive. Although I think we got lucky. We stayed in a little cabin in Idaho, and Idaho's right there. I mean, it was like 15 minutes in to Yellowstone, maybe 20 minutes.
But the fact that it's another state, people
don't rent it as, so little things like that. Pay attention to those little, like look at the map and see how far, like when we were just down in Arkansas, we knew we wanted to go into Branson at some point, and people actually, this was an hour for 50 minutes, maybe a little less than an hour from Branson. And the house we rented was adorable. It had just been redone, but significantly cheaper. And so we only wanted to go into Branson for a day. We ended up not doing anything because we didn't feel it was safe.
Yeah.
But people run around like it's 2018.
I was like,
nah.
The kid's like, this is awesome. We got to come back. And Josh's like, Mark, you're taking them. I'm like, but yeah, no, it was like, anyway, I didn't feel comfortable.
But the price of that place was a third of what anything nearer to Branson was. So, Yellowville, Arkansas worked out just fine for us.
Yeah.
You know, so those are things to take into consideration too.
Yeah.
And the Idaho place that you stayed at, that's where I popped in with Spaghetti Ice, and I popped in, and was it that one? When I popped in, you said Spaghetti Ice. It was in Idaho.
No, that was
that was in Idaho, wasn't it?
We didn't do a live in Idaho, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did
At the table.
I popped in.
So yeah, whenever you say Spaghetti Ice, I think of the live feed from like a month ago.
Well, we all said Spaghetti Ice, Spaghetti Ice, Spaghetti
That's what I'm
Ice.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Like that wasn't that time.
That wasn't.
No, that was
this
before.
summer?
We were talking about that, and then he
then
showed
popped
up.
in.
Because there was one time, so for
I have
any
terrible
of you, Ermi, if you want Darian to pop up again, you just need to say Spaghetti Ice 3 times in a mirror, and he will show up. It's
And
crazy.
I promise you. Now it was I think it was a Friday night, and I totally forgot about y'all being live. And I'm sitting there, I'm in my office. I was doing something on my Excel spreadsheet or something. I was doing something, and all of a sudden, Mark Finley turns in. He goes, "Hey, aren't you coming to the chat?" I'm like, "What chat?" Everyone's Wolters World. I'm like, "What, right now?" And so when I came up, I said, "Hey guys," and then that's when you went, "Look, it worked! It worked!" and I didn't know about any of the talks before. I just, thank God for Mark Finley. He said, "Hey, they're on right now." And then, whoosh.
So, our good buddy Eric B, who is an awesome dude, and I'm glad is recovering well. Mark, what would you recommend for someone who wants to live in Europe for 6 months to a year, but doesn't plan on teaching English? Okay, so here's the thing. Because in the European Union, you can only stay for 90 days. So that's 3 days. But
3 months, not 3 days.
3 months. I've been drinking. But in the UK, you can stay for 6 months. So what you could do to like play with the system is do 2 months and 29 days in the Schengen countries, like Portugal, Spain, something like that. Then go to the UK for a while, for 2 months, 3 months or whatever, then come back to the EU and then go to some places outside of Schengen, and you kind of go back and forth that way. And you kind of, it's not playing the system. It's just the way it is.
It's legal. But if you wanted to work, I don't know, Eric, if you wanted to work there, if you're just trying to spend some time, but
yeah, work, forget about it.
It's really difficult to get work visas.
Because as much as bad as they
want to hire EU people first.
Well, it's gonna be home country, then European Union, and then somebody else. So, like when I was working for the university there, like my contract was written like native speaker with lots of social media experience that has done this. So it was like tailored just for me. So no European.
Nobody else could get the job because it was written specifically for him.
So that's why I say it's like you do the kind of like European Union, Schengen, then you do Ireland and the UK, and you kind of move around and do that, and that's the way to go, especially if you're doing like digital nomad work.
Yeah, but if you're doing, Eric B does have a travel channel, and so you have the ability to work around that and earn money in a way that most other people don't. So, you just find those extra little revenue streams, whether you're writing for a, travel thing or whatever.
Night, Brian. Night, Franklin.
Well, hey, folks, I want to be respectful of your time. We're approaching the 2-hour mark, and I'm enjoying this conversation. And man, I could talk for hours. But first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming up. And I do have one more question, if you don't mind, before I do that. The Alsraj, the Green Vault in Dresden. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I've never been to Dresden.
Green Vault the Green Vault in the Schwinger Museum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the kings of Saxon were like some of the most powerful, richest kings, emperors, whatever you want to call them, Kaisers ever. And so they collected some of the most fantastic art. If you've ever seen the Raphael, where it's the 2 little cherubs, like the little fat angels sitting together.
Yes.
And the one
it was me. I was one of them.
One smoking and the other one's got a beard. That when we were in college.
When we were in college. That's there. And so the Zwinger is well worth visiting. And if you go to Dresden, like Dresden, like we carpet bombed that place at the end of the war, and people got upset with us, whatever. But the thing is they've rebuilt the city. The Frauenkirche has been rebuilt, but the museum there is incredible. And the thing is, if you're gonna do a trip, let's say you get like a 10-day trip, Berlin. If you fly into Berlin, you fly out of Prague. You're gonna stop in Dresden in the middle and spend a few days there.
Wow, they got a lot of gems and stones there too, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, they got. It's one of those museums that has like a little bit of everything.
It's a cool place. You get to see a lot of it. Like he said, it's really varied. So it's interesting for a lot of different people.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, guys, again, I want to be respectful of your time and everything, and I thank you so much for coming. I apologize for all the technical difficulties.
Don't worry.
We're glad we can help out, my brother. Love you, man. And thank you everybody for being on here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for everybody for putting up with. I could not see the comments at all, and so Mark and Jocelyn, thanks for helping me out there with the comments. And I'm going to go back and somehow read these comments, and I'm going to answer you. And I promise I'm a man of my word. But
it was great hanging out with you, Darian. Just enjoyed it a lot. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy. Bye, everybody.
All right. That was our buddies, Wolters World, Mark and Jocelyn. And that was a good time that we had there. So, anyways, guys, I don't know what in the world happened to my comments. My comments, I cannot read them. So, yes, it's still not coming up. But I appreciate everybody being here tonight. And, man, I'm looking forward to, of course, going to Germany. Just to remind you, if you have not checked out my YouTube, my Facebook group page, which is called Magnificent Germany with Darren. Make sure you do that. Answer the couple questions. There's only 2 or 3 questions. I think it's 3 questions. Hit join, and you'll be able to add your pictures of Germany. You can see other folks' pictures of Germany on their pictures, videos, / also welcome any European pictures. So you've got some pictures of England or Ireland, whatever. I don't mind that being on there. But it's a Germany-focused group, but I do not mind anything in Europe. So please don't hesitate to put, as long as it's Europe. Now, with that being said, we have a group that is going to Germany September 15th through the 27th of 2021. So hopefully 2021 is a lot different than 2020. And I'm taking up to 9 people. Nine is the limit. Because I don't want, big crowd. I want a nice crowd, everybody have fun, know each other and all that stuff. And there'll be other group trips too, as well. But anyways, I already have 5 signed up. I'm one of the 5, so I have 4. I have 2 couples going, that's for sure. And last I look, I think I have 8 maybes, maybe 9 maybes that who maybe will go. But here's the deal: I have 4 slots left. So if you're interested in going to Germany, say you've never been to Germany before, or even if you've been to Germany before. Okay, it doesn't. You don't have to be the first time. Anybody, because I tell you, the first 2 couples that are going, the first 4 couples or 2 couples that are signed up, they are seasoned Germany folks. So if you have never been to Germany, you're going to get a nice little tour package going on here just for free of Germany, taking you around and showing you what's this, what's that. This is a bratwurst. This is spaghetti ice. You're going to get that kind of deal. So if you are interested. Please just at least hit the maybe, because February 14th is the deadline that we're going to solidify the group. If we only have 5 people going by that time, there's 5 people going. We'll solidify it. That's so we could rent the van. We're going to rent a van. And the deal about that is again, I'm not a travel agent, nothing like that. I'm just a guy who loves to take my friends to Germany. And what we do, we split the cost of the rental van. So it's cheaper for everybody. The rental van and the gas and all good stuff. I'll help you with your airline arrangements. Of course, you do it on your own, but I will direct you where you need to go and whatnot. So I'm there to help you do that. But it'll be a lot of fun. So there are only 4 slots left. I got a bunch of I love to others, but I don't know what I'm doing. At least hit the maybe, because on February 14th, the very next day, February 15th. I'm going at 12:01. I'm going to stay up at 12:01. I'm going to go by my maybes. I'm going to send out questions. Hey, here is the deadline's here. Are you going or not? I mean, I don't get offended or not. Of course not, because you can't. You can't really predict anything. So, but with that being said, this group here is this group, and I'm going to have many more to come. So I hope you just, again, check out my Facebook group page. Same thing as my name, Magnificent Germany with Darren, and you'll see everything. Also, I have Instagram. It's called Magnificent Germany with Darren. Also, I have a Twitter, and I couldn't get the Magnificent Germany with Darren on that, but it's, you can go at Pat Germany, just at sign, and then Pat Germany, and you'll be able to get my Twitter. But I'm gonna let you go. Mark and Terry, if you're still on there, thanks a lot for the communication between Mark and Jocelyn. My internet went haywire there for a while, and that's okay, but we got it going. And again, sorry for the, I wasn't able to see the comments, but I appreciate Mark and Jocelyn taking that for me. So I'm gonna have new content coming out Monday. I have new content every Monday. That's not going to change. And so until then, Dunkers and Juice. Oh! Donka.